Major UK businesses are lining up to offer jobs to Ukrainian refugees when they start to arrive in the UK. A group of more than 45 large businesses, including Marks & Spencer, Asos and Lush, are pressing the government to make it easier for those driven out by Russia's invasion to come to the UK. The initiative is being led by the British entrepreneur Emma Sinclair, the Chief Executive of Enterprise Alumni. And Emma Sinclair joins us now. Thank you very much. How did this all come together?
Hi, Martine. Entirely by accident. The middle of last week, a lot of customers, friends in predominantly FTSE companies were all keen to find a way to help, but there was no direct way to do so. So there was a lot of wandering around, wanting to say, we can offer jobs, we can offer resettlement, we'd like to help with language training, but absolutely no clarity about how to do that. So the coalition is actually a group of people that we pulled together Friday and Saturday. It was, as you say, at 45. We're now at well past 100 of large businesses who are keen to recognise that when somebody arrives here from abroad, independence and dignity and personal pride are critical. And a way to do that is to make sure that somebody can settle in, earn a living and understand that they have a future here.
That's great if we've got the vacancies and there's a willingness to help people settle. But what do you need the government to do to make that happen?
Well, in the first instance, as everybody's saying, we clearly need the visa system to be modernised overnight, quite frankly. We're all waiting to hear how can people get here and on what basis can we employ them. I know that there's news coming out of the Commons imminently that's due, waiting to hear what that says. But there's a big practical part, which is even if people can apply for visas, now what happens? How do employers find them? How do we know where the government has settled them? There's a lot of questions being asked, and that is what the coalition are really trying to get to the bottom of as quickly as possible and motivate the government so that they can see that at the other end, when they create these visas, there are handfuls, plenty, treasure chests full of companies who are desperate to help people to resettle here.
What sort of template is there for this having happened in the past?
I don't know that there is one, and I can honestly say, Martine, I'm no expert on this at all. I don't know what the government has done previously, but what I do know is that we all want to make sure that whatever happens this time is better, brighter and more sustainable.
So what sort of timescale are we looking at in terms of how long you would imagine these jobs could be given to people? Because, of course, there are some anxieties about immigration into this country. Of course, economic migration and asylum. Nice to see you're joined there by a couple of friends.
Yeah.
At least two. How long would you envisage these jobs being available to people?
Well, the reality is that there isn't a single employer I know in the United Kingdom who isn't desperate and keen to hire, whether it is trade skills, whether it is warehousing, staffing and retailers, all the way through to technical expertise and engineering. There is a dearth of jobs available. So I think that the goal here is to make sure this is good for everyone. These jobs are vacant at the moment. This would be good for the British economy. This would be good for British employers. And it would be good for people who are coming over to resettle, to not simply be sitting in homes or hotels or wherever they're housed, but frankly, to be contributing, because that's the way for them to feel, I think, the most settled, as well as for us to benefit.
And in terms of all of the other sort of nuts and bolts of getting this to happen, it's not just about a job, is it? As great as that is, it needs to be a coordinated effort in terms of housing, schools, hospitals, GP services. It's quite complex, really.
Yes, 100%. I don't envy the government, but the coalition has come together in a couple of those different areas. First of all, we've got large groups of recruiters who are used to placing people at scale. We've got companies who are used to teaching English and resettlement skills online at scale. So we've got a lot of the private sector who do these jobs day in, day out. They already have the infrastructure. They already have the know-how. And part of us all coming together is we don't want to see government recreating the wheel. There are people that know how to do this. Apparently my cats are also very much wanting to be part of that. And so what I want to make sure is that expertise is put into the right place in government. Government need to provide infrastructure. They need to provide leadership. They need to provide logistics. But the jobs, the know-how, this is all available and ready. So I'm making sure that we're putting the right people together at the right time this week.
Yes, and those people would not feel quite so much like refugees if they had a job to come to, would they? Emma Sinclair from Enterprise Alumni will follow this with interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you.